Hey everyone, welcome to the video. Over today's MLB main slate for today on DraftKings. We have a nice 15-game slate, so that's just all 30 teams playing. I know this can be kind of intimidating, but I think I dumbed it down for us with this nice cheat sheet here. Anyway, before we continue, if you could leave a like, subscribe to the channel, I really appreciate that. Also follow me on Twitter at ChrisPinell16. And we are very close to 1,000 subs. I think we're at 991, so we only need 9 more. So maybe we can hit that tomorrow. That'd be pretty awesome. So I really appreciate that. And also, if you want access to this cheat sheet, the pitching model, it's got projections on there. The hitting model, it's got projections too. And I do other DFS models as well. You can support me on Patreon. I think we're at 23 patrons now, so I really appreciate all of you that have joined in. Hope you guys have enjoyed it so far. Yeah, we've had 23 people join, and there's plenty of room for many more. So if you want access to all the cheat sheets I do and whatnot, and I do put updates throughout the day on here, and I do some extra stuff for the Patreons as well. So I'm going to leave the link in the description below if you are interested. Enough about that. So let's get into the cheat sheet. So SP1 for me is going to be Max Scherzer at 12,400. I don't think there's any way we're going to get around not paying him for Max Scherzer. I know his price is insane, but he's my top pitcher in this slate. It's not really even close at all. He's arguably the #1 pitcher in the game versus the worst team in the league. So, and we're in Miami in a nice pitcher's park. I know earlier in the year when he played in Miami, it didn't work out too well, but I don't care. I'm just going to be locking in Max Scherzer in my lineup, and I'll figure out the rest from there. And then there's quite a few pitchers I like. I did have David Price in here, then I ended up deleting him for Jack Flaherty because I wanted some extra savings. So I do like David Price as well, but Jack Flaherty 7,900. It may not be the greatest matchup in the world versus Oakland. They don't strike out a ton, and they got a lot of power in their lineup, but it's just too cheap for Flaherty with the guy like Flaherty's skill set. So I know he's got a nice K rate. So I do like Flaherty, and then Madison Bumgarner 8,200. So I was writing as I'm typing this, Pomeranz was absolutely mowing down the Rockies lineup. He had 11 strikeouts, and I like Mad Bum, who definitely has better stuff than Pomeranz versus a lefty heavy Rockies lineup. I mean, they had a ton of lefties. They had Blackman, Dahl, Tapia, McMahon, Walters, and Daniel Murphy. I mean, so if they're going to roll that same lineup again, we have a lot of strikeouts here, and it's a good pitcher's park, so I do like Bumgarner. And I believe he's playing at 10 o'clock. I hope that's right. And you always get that nice late night hammer. It makes yourself feel better. And then a catcher, Danny Jansen, 2,100. Am I just going to keep playing him at this price? But I would like it to get up to JT Realmuto, 3,900. So like I said yesterday, this is just too cheap for him. I think he had 14 points last night, so that was nice. And yeah, he's solid versus righties, and Lockett isn't any good, and neither is the Mets bullpen. And I do love the Phillies a lot tonight, so I'm going to want to go right back to the Phillies. Well, I think they had 13 runs tonight, so hopefully they can do that again. Now, Melissa Contreras, 4,700. The wind's going to be blowing out in Wrigley again. I think it's like 50 miles per hour. Now, although I do think of Fried as a respectable pitcher, the outside factors overweigh that, and I do like the Cubs. Then at first base, we have Freddie Freeman, 5,500. He's hard to afford, but he's in an awesome spot versus a righty in Wrigley. And then Jake Bowers, 3,800. The Indians should be popular today, but for good reason. And they have a date, not data. They have a date at home versus Sparkman of the Royals, and he's not very good at all. So I do like a lot of these Indians, and they're pretty affordable to stack because we're going to be paying up for Scherzer, so I listed a little bit more value options here. So and then Rhys Hoskins at 4,600. Like I said, love all the Phillies tonight. And Rhys is very good versus righties. He's got more power versus righties. So far, not this year, but still just overall. And Vegas likes the Phillies too. So do like Rhys. And then second base, Robinson Cano. He's probably going to be the chalk second baseman again. But he's just too cheap, 3,200. And he just did absolutely nothing last night. But it's another good matchup versus Arrieta, who struggles with lefties. And then Rougned Odor, 3,800. I know this game isn't in Texas, and Detroit's a downgrade for Parks, but Zimmerman's getting hit hard by lefties, and that's a bad profile to have versus the Rangers lefty heavy team, and the bullpen's awful as well. So just like Odor, and then Jason Kipnis 4,100. Been playing him a lot recently, which is went well, and the matchup again is good versus Sparky. Then at third base we have Chris Bryant at 4,900. Smashes lefties, and the wind's gonna be blown out. So nothing too complicated there. Then J Ram at 4,200. He should be popular, but with this price, like all the Indians versus Sparkman. And then Manny Machado, 5,500. I before I even saw the prices, I saw he was pitching for Baltimore. I saw they were in Baltimore and they're playing the Padres. So I was like, oh man, I wanted to play Manny Machado, but I don't think I'm going to be able to with that price. But if you can, I love it. Uh, Fantastic matchup back in Baltimore. You know, he used to play for Baltimore and he smashes in Baltimore. So uh, and they're facing a bad lefty in Rogers. I think Yakinobis or whatever, he's opening, but then Rogers is going to come in. He's got an extremely low K rate, and he's just, I believe his xFIP is over 8 the past 2 seasons. And so it's a great spot for the Padres. They're just massively expensive. And Manny has the highest ISO in the league versus left-handed pitching this year with over 500. So I do like Machado a lot. And then shortstop, just talked about Machado. Then Gene Segura, 4K. He went overlooked last night. He put up almost 30 points. And I like all the Phillies. And I don't want to leave him off in my lineup. Although I would expect versus a righty, he gets bumped down a little bit in the order, but that's fine. Then Frankie Lindor, 5,100. Like I always say, can't leave him off your GPP tribe stacks. Although I understand if you can't afford them. That's why he's more of a GPP play. And then for the high-priced outfields, I just listed team outfields because there's a lot of them are expensive, but there's a lot of good plays. So the Red Sox outfield, I do like them. It's a bullpen day for the White Sox, so obvious advantage to the Red Sox there. I think Carson Fulmer is opening. And yeah, so I do expect a lot of runs be scored there. Then the Yankees outfield versus Clayton Richard or Richard. I can't remember how to say it. And that bullpen is terrible as well. So I do like the Yankees a lot. Stanton is one of the top plays of the slate. That cheap versus a lefty who gets murdered by righties. And I also like Judge and Hicks. Then in the Rangers outfield, Gallow's going to be back tomorrow, so that's a big boost to the lineup just in the power region. Maybe not a boost for the strike. Well, it is a boost for the strikeout region too. But yeah, it's an awesome matchup versus Zimmerman. He gets hit hard by lefties, and also like Mazzara. I guess Danny Santana and Shin-Soo Choo's too. And then the mid-range outfield, we have Bryce Harper, 4,500. Love the Phillies, and I imagine he's going to be pretty popular, but I don't mind playing him, even if he's chalk. And then Michael Conforto, 4,700. He did a really good game last night. I think he had 28 points, and look for that to happen again. Area is bad versus lefties, and Conforto can smash righties. Then the value outfield, we have Jake Bauers. We already talked about him. And then Albert Almora, 3,300. Nothing exciting here, but he's better versus lefties, and he should crack the lineup. And then Kiki, hate playing this guy, so hopefully I don't have to play him, but he should be leading off versus lefty in the wind. I was just so used to saying the wind. He's not in. He's playing Robbie Ray. He's not in the wind in Wrigley. All right, and then if we go to some of the core plays, I have Max Scherzer, 12,400. Robinson Cano at 3,200. So, I mean, using him opens up your lineup, especially if you're going to be using Scherzer. And if you want to punt catcher, that really opens up your lineup. Then Giancarlo Stanton at 4,600. He's just too cheap facing a lefty. And like I said, it's a strong wind blowing out to center in Wrigley. Then the top stacks are going to be the Phillies, the Yankees, the Indians, and the Padres. But if you want to stack the Padres, I'm telling you right now, you're not going to be able to play Scherzer. Alright guys, that's all I have for the video. Remember to leave a like, subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate that. Support me on Patreon in the link below if you are interested. And I forget what else I said, but you guys know what I usually say. So anyway, best of luck to you all tomorrow.